All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a technology that is quietly but completely changing everything. It's all about next-generation precision positioning. Now, you think you know GPS, right? But what we're looking at is a massive leap forward, one that's about to redefine our whole sense of place.
I mean, think about it for a second. Your phone's GPS can get you all the way across the city, no problem. But if you drop a single coin on the sidewalk, forget about it. It's totally useless. And that gap, the one between close enough and true pinpoint precision, well, that's where this huge technological shift is happening. So what's been the holdup all this time?
You see, for decades, getting that super precise centimeter-level location data has been possible, but it's been locked away, really confined to these very specific high-end industries. So let's break down why it hasn't made its way into your phone. Until now.
So here's the deal, right? This is the trade-off we've been stuck with for years. On one side, you've got the legacy systems, the kind used for major construction or surveying. They're incredibly accurate, sure, but they're also big, clunky, power-hungry, and cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And on the other side, you've got the GPS in your phone. It's tiny, it's cheap, but its accuracy isn't even in the same league.
And if we dig a little deeper, you can see exactly why. Those old systems are really complex, built from a whole bunch of different chips. To get that amazing accuracy, you often have to pay for a pricey subscription service. On top of that, the signals are super vulnerable. They get blocked by tall buildings in cities or can even be jammed. So the bottom line is, the technology was just too big, too expensive, and frankly, too fragile for the mass market. So how do you solve a problem like that? Well, the answer, it turns out, involves looking up to space, but maybe not as high up as you'd think. There's a whole new generation of satellites in what's called low Earth orbit, or LEO, and they are the secret ingredient to this whole thing.
And this, right here, this chart just says it all. Your traditional GPS satellites, they're way out there in medium Earth orbit, about 20,000 kilometers away. But these new LEO satellites, they are so much closer. And being closer gives them these three massive advantages. First, the signal is way, way stronger. Second, the time delay, or latency, gets slashed from hundreds of milliseconds down to just 30. And third, you can build security right into the signal itself. It's a total game changer.
So when you combine the signals from these new LEO birds with the GPS network that's already there, you get something that's more than just accurate. You get a system that is fundamentally more robust, more trustworthy. The experts call this resilience. It basically means your device can figure out its location even when you're in a downtown area surrounded by skyscrapers or when someone's trying to interfere with a signal. It just works.
But having amazing new satellites in the sky is only half the battle. How do you actually get all that power into a tiny device that can fit in your hand or on a small drone? Well, this is where a company called Orosat says they found the answer by shrinking it all down onto a single tiny chip.
They do it with something called a system on chip, or SoC, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. You take all those separate, bulky, power-hungry parts of a traditional receiver, and you integrate the whole shebang onto one tiny, incredibly efficient piece of silicon.
And this is where it gets really impressive. The result of this approach is a massive reduction in size. We're talking a 60-fold decrease in the physical footprint compared to those old, clunky modules. All of a sudden, high-precision location can fit practically anywhere. And believe me, that's just the start.
Because along with that tiny size, you get incredible performance. Without any of those expensive correction services, this system can achieve 20-centimeter accuracy. That's the difference between knowing which street you're on and knowing which lane you're in. But for the really demanding jobs,
it can take in a little extra data and get down to an absolutely astonishing 1 centimeter of accuracy. That's survey-grade precision from a tiny, low-cost chip. It really is the best of both worlds. Okay, so a tiny, cheap, and super reliable chip that knows its location down to a single centimeter. Why is that a big deal? Well, because it doesn't just improve old technologies, it unlocks entire industries and creates capabilities that, honestly, were just science fiction a few years ago. And the scale of this impact is almost hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about transforming sectors that are worth trillions of dollars. This kind of precise, reliable positioning becomes the foundation for, well, for everything. From building digital models of our cities to powering the next wave of autonomous cars and robots.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Think about monitoring the structural health of a bridge. Using high-precision sensors to do that today is incredibly expensive, but according to the source material, this new chip technology can slash that cost by 85%. All of a sudden, it's not just possible to monitor a few critical bridges, you could monitor all of them and maybe prevent a disaster before it ever happens.
And you start to see the applications pop up everywhere. Autonomous cars that can navigate those tricky city canyons without ever losing their signal. Delivery drones that land exactly on your doorstep, not in your neighbor's yard. Tractors that can plant seeds with perfect spacing for maximum yield. Even a pet tracker that finally works indoors and has a battery that lasts for weeks. You could even have highway tolls without any of those big, ugly gantries.
So this isn't just some hypothetical dream for the future. There is a very clear plan to bring this technology to the market and make it a reality for all of us.
The company's roadmap lays it all out, a clear step-by-step plan. It kicks off in 2025 with a testing platform, then moves to the core positioning chip in 2026, and it all leads up to a dedicated communication chip in 2028 to enable true global coverage. This is literally how you build a new ecosystem from the ground up.
And their investment strategy really tells the story. You can see the focus is on deep engineering. A combined 72% of their funds are being poured directly into R&D and product development. It's a huge sign that making this tech rock solid is their #1 priority. So look, if you take away nothing else from this, it really boils down to 3 main things. First, miniaturization. Putting it all on one chip makes hyper-precise location radically smaller and cheaper, small enough for any device. Second, resilience. Mixing LEO and GPS signals makes positioning dependable in a way it has never been before. And third, innovation. This isn't just a small improvement. This is the key that unlocks our autonomous future.
And that really just leaves us with one last fascinating question. We've talked about self-driving cars and smart bridges, but when a technology this fundamental becomes this accessible to everyone, the most exciting applications are usually the ones that nobody has even thought of yet. When we can know the precise location of anything, anytime, anywhere, what are we going to build next?